how did you first connect with Charlie? Because Charlie called you his pastor, Rob. So how did this happen?
Well, that's all credit goes to Mikey. Mikey was a big fan of Charlie before I really knew who he was. And I'd gone to a CNP meeting invited by Congressman McEwen and Bob and Liz McEwen. And I saw Charlie kind of sitting, not debating, but, discussing how to approach the pro-life movement. And he was stellar. And I loved the way he'd go after it. And then when Mikey said, you saw Charlie Kirk? I'm like, yeah, he was at the CNP meeting. And he goes, I just love that guy. And then I was at a conservative radio conference speaking on a panel with Jack Hibbs and Tim Thompson. And it was pastors in politics. And at the time I was the only one holding office, and Pastor Jack Hibbs was real gracious. And so was Pastor Tim. They kept deferring the questions to me from the audience. And then Charlie was in the wings getting ready to speak. And I saw him earlier in the green room, and he had a big, giant, thick book he was reading, which kind of impressed me. I didn't want to bother him because I was going to get a video from Mikey. And then when I came down from the stage after speaking, Charlie was the next speaker. And I said, hey, can I get a video for my son? Which you'll see the video sometime, Frank. It's kind of prophetic. He actually said in the video, hey, Mikey, come work for me. It was kind of funny. But before he did the video, he said, yeah, I'll do that. But wait, I didn't know a guy like you existed. And I said, what do you mean? He said, a pastor in politics. And I didn't really know how to handle that. And I just kind of responded. I go, I didn't know a guy like you existed. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, a young conservative. We both laughed. And then our paths would cross through a friend, David Lane, who put together a Pastors and Pews event at Liberty University. And Charlie was speaking there because he was doing business at the university, and he joined this pastors event. And at the end, David Lane asked me to come up and pray for President Falwell and pray for Charlie. And I laid hands on President Falwell, and I prayed a prayer, and I was obedient. But it was strange when I laid hands on Charlie to pray for him. I got kind of choked up. I got overwhelmed. It was almost like the Lord just a love that the Lord has for this guy. I didn't really know him that well, but I was overwhelmed by it. And Erica was there too. And then we would be connected through Liberty, and then that would just be a friendship that would go on for six and a half years.